Cultural identity achievement. What is cultural identity achievement? Cultural identity achievement means for an individual to be proud and accept their cultural background. It is a stage of development, and it shows that an individual is self-aware and willing to accept their cultural background as their own. It is the last stage in the development of cultural identity. And an example we chose is, my culture was confusing at first, but now it is clear to me, and I realized I am proud to be part of blank culture. Anais POV. I developed cultural identity achievement my senior year of high school. I am a first-generation Latina born in the United States. My parents immigrated from Mexico many, many years ago, and I definitely believe I developed a sense of cultural identity when I realized how hardworking my immigrant parents were, and I realized that despite going through so many obstacles and not really having much when first arriving to this country, they were able to achieve a lot of things, such as owning a house and without having an education, which I think is great. And I take a lot of pride in having immigrant parents because they sacrificed many things in their life for my siblings and I, and they continue to do so. And I also developed a sense of pride when I realized my culture was able to challenge stereotypes and misconceptions against us. Many immigrants like DACA, they're here in this country studying, to be lawyers, nurses, and I just think that's really great. And it shows how hardworking my culture is. And then I also realized that many take pride in their roots and don't forget where they came from. And the picture I decided to incorporate is a picture of a family because my family makes me take pride in my culture no matter what.
Eduardo's point of view. For me, I experienced this stage of cultural identity achievement during high school. I was more curious about my Mexican American culture when my history teacher started to mix in different struggles of other cultures that went through in America during the 1900s. They taught me about how my culture was oppressed and how we are still resisting to this day. One example for me was wearing a zoot suit during an event showcasing the Mexican American culture that influenced me to feel more connected and seen in my culture.
For me, I experienced this stage more fully after moving to the USA. At first, I felt out of place, but the more I learned about Ukrainian history, like Holodomor, Soviet suppressions of my language, and the regional diversity within Ukraine, the more proud I felt to represent my roots. One example of this is when I wore my traditional embroidery blouse, a vyshyvanka. You can see a picture of that on your screen, to an international student event at my college. I used to be shy about standing out, but that moment felt empowering. I was no longer just a foreigner, I was proudly a Ukrainian.
Hello, my name is Jaden Moss, and this is my point of view of how I reached cultural identity achievement stage. I reached the cultural identity achievement stage when I began participating in school events during Black History Month. I felt a sense of pride while sharing parts of African American history with others. I felt empowered to express it and educate others. I wore traditional clothing. I also helped organize a presentation about African American leaders and victors, and even wrote a 1,000-word paper on 10 African American leaders last year.